Hello, and welcome. Yes, Spring 2023, a brilliant season of anime. Winter, I feel, brought us a lot of hidden gems, but with spring, we have a season of anime filled with bangers. Because of this, I want to preface this video saying that with how many amazing anime we have right now, I can only watch so many. However, I still want to bring to you, the people, my fellow weebs, degenerates, and femboys alike, my anime recommendations in this tier list that will no doubt bring us one step closer to finding the perfect anime. Skippin' Loafer is the newest anime from PA Works. In the past year, they've brought us some really unique and wild anime. But this is way different tonally than the rest of their recent works. That's right, we've got a slice of life on our hands. Some of you might not enjoy slice of life since you don't really get major conflicts or character arcs like you typically see in other anime, but I enjoy it. It gives us something to feel warm and comfortable with, and I don't think any other anime this year has made me feel the way that Skippin' Loafer does. Mitsumi Iwakura is a girl from a small town moving to Tokyo to pursue her grand dreams. Along the way, she manages to run into Sosuke, and after making it late to her own speech at the entrance ceremony and puking on her teacher, what follows is her adjusting to her busy school life, making friends, and experiencing a whole new part of Japan. It's hard to distill what makes an anime like this so great into words. Yes, the art style is extremely nice, but watching this gets you swept up so much into the characters and their lives. Every episode makes you feel so good inside, and when characters go through conflict, you can't help but empathize with them. I love every episode of this show, and whenever Mitsumi or someone else experiences happiness, so do I. I really don't have anything negative I can say about it. It's definitely an S tier for me. Yeah, starting this list off with an S tier. This season is amazing. Dead Mount Deathplay is an isekai. Hey, wait just a moment. It's a reverse isekai. Compared to ending a series with a battle between the final boss and the legendary hero, this anime begins with it, which leads to the main character being transported to modern-day Tokyo. I should also mention that this is based off of a manga created by Ryugo Narita, the creator of Baccano and Durarara. So if you're in the mood for more characters than you can shake a stick at, and plenty of plot twists, then this is definitely an anime for you. I think the less I say about this anime, the better, since I'd rather not mention what happens, but in episode 1, there is a rather exciting plot twist that got me hooked from the get-go. Overall, it's a solid anime that constantly plays with your expectations and keeps you hooked one episode to the next. A tier. Demon Slayer Swordsmith Village Arc is an anime you're already watching. Me talking about this anime and ranking it is a bit redundant, since if you're watching this video, chances are you're already watching it. So if you're interested in what my opinion of it is, I'd say it's extremely exciting with amazing animation. Yeah, this season is a bit toned down compared to Entertainment District Arc, but those are some big shoes for even Demon Slayer to fill. And hey, this season has Mitsuri, who is popular in her own right, and Genya, a man too angry to die. Some may argue that this series isn't good because of the plot, but I'd argue that the story is exactly as strong as it needs to be. That just allows Ufotable to focus all their effort on making it as exciting as possible, and they keep delivering. S tier. My love story with Yamada-kun at level 999 is a rom-com for the most epic of gamers. The main character, Akane, is in a constant state of taking L's. You could draw a line on the ground in front of her, and she'd crash a boat into it. Her boyfriend breaks up with her since he found a new girl, and she's left with a crippling MMO addiction.
The longest I've ever played it for was 12 hours, and that was just because the guild wanted me on for that long.
Along her gaming path, she encounters a popular pro gamer named Yamada, and the two hit it off quite well. At least, as well as Yamada can, since he, being a true gamer, min-maxed his stats and reduced his emotional awareness to about as low as can go. What follows is a beautiful story of the two getting closer and closer together, both in-game and in real life. I'm really enjoying this anime, and I'm excited that we've gotten so many great shoujo anime as of late. I hope it's a sign of more to come. As for now, it's an A tier. I got a cheat skill in another world and became unrivaled in the real world too. Is an isekai that's not exactly going to be a recommendation if you want a good anime, but what this anime excels at is making the main character, Yuya, look as cool as possible. Oh, not to us, just to everyone else. Yuya was fat until he discovered the power of being the main character, and now he can solo God himself. Now, with the title, you might be wondering what the cheat skill in question is, and that would be his automatic riz. Wherever he goes, panties drop faster than the amount of people who are watching the show. Everyone in this world and the other world wants him. He is the greatest weapon to use against the real Demon Lord, Japan's declining birth rate. There's basic wish fulfillment, and then there's this. I have to admit, I thoroughly enjoy every episode, but in a way that makes me think there's no way this show would do something like that. When I'm having this much fun, there's really only one tier this anime can go to. C tier. Insomniacs After School is the most chill and laid-back anime of the season. Ganta Nakami and Isaki Magari are two high schoolers struggling with insomnia, but manage to rest together in their school's abandoned observatory. I've seen some people say that this anime is too slow for their taste, but if you're hesitant about it, I'd just like to say that episode 5 is one of the best episodes of anime this whole year. I was really looking forward to this anime going into spring, and it does not disappoint. Ganta and Isaki are constantly struggling through their insomnia, but manage to find peace and comfort with each other. This is another anime that just makes you feel so much for the main characters, due to their likability and the beautiful visuals of the night. Insomniacs After School does a great job balancing the more serious and dramatic undertones of the show under its youthful vibe and lust for life. This is an S tier. Hell's Paradise is the newest anime by MAPPA, but does Hell's Paradise deliver the same way that Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen have? Yeah, it's pretty great. Gabimaru is a shinobi known as the Hollow because he plays a lot of Dark Souls and has been sentenced to death for being too edgy. He is given a second chance to redeem himself if he can win this season of Survivor and claim its ultimate prize, the Elixir of Life. He's under the watchful guise of Sagiri, his guard, who will put him to death if he steps out of line. But that's impossible because he's not too angry to die, but too affectionate to die. He's a man who loves his wife. That's right, this is another rom-com. You thought this was a battle shonen? It's the sweetest love story I've ever seen. See, these people are gonna get married. Joking aside, I find the main two really compelling, especially Sagiri. She's been one of my favorite characters this season. Seeing her personal growth throughout the series is some great character development. Overall, what more can I say? It's another great MAPPA animated shonen S tier. Heavenly Delusion is a masterpiece. Sure, I can go into detail about the characters, the world building, the animation, and how every episode is movie quality, but a big part of the appeal of the series is just uncovering the world itself alongside the main characters. Every big reveal of the show comes with more mysteries. Maru is as mysterious as he is horny, and Kiriko packs the heat. Each episode tells its own tale focusing on both those two, as well as the people they meet on their journey to discover the perfect Okay, wait, that's just me. There's also this civilization of sorts where these children are being raised in an idealistic utopic society, and the story often bounces between the two sides, but in a way that feels seamless. I went into this anime completely blind, and I'm glad I did. It knows when to deliver, and when it does, you're given a masterful story, with moments such as the entirety of Episode 8, which broke me. Yeah, this is one of those anime. One that this season and year will be remembered for. This is my first god tier anime of this season. The Café, Terrace, and its Goddesses is a brand new harem rom-com. Now, I do enjoy harem anime, but I didn't like the beginning. For the first 3 episodes or so, I was just not getting into it. I didn't like the girls that much, and the setting overall wasn't that exciting for me. However, everything is tied together by the MC of the show, Hayato, who inherited his grandmother's cafe along the beachside after her passing. He was planning to just sell the joint, but at the request of its 5 employees who also lived there, he was convinced to keep it running as well as his grandmother's wishes. Hayato really brings the story together. He may be strict when it comes to his employees, but he's a man of conviction and genuinely cares about others and the community. No other anime this season has improved throughout it quite like this one for me. Yeah, some of the characters could still be annoying, but I found them charming as they go along, with the dramatic peaks really getting to me. And since this is a harem, I'm going to make my tier list of who I like the most. And I guess the rest of the season too. At times I thought it was the worst anime this season, and at other times it's been really good, so I guess it rounds out to a B tier. However, I feel that this could definitely rise higher with future seasons.
Shadow Wizard Money Gang, we love casting spells. This song is sponsored by the Shadow Government.
Mashle, Muscles and Magic is a magic school anime. Sort of. The story is about Mash Burn Dead, a non-magical guy living in a magical world. Here, just about everybody's able to use magic, except for him. So his kind and caring adoptive father raised him away from society. However, the government discovers them, and after getting slapped around by Mash, they tell him that they'll spare both him and his father if he enrolls and excels in Easton Academy, a magical school. But that's okay because Mash has 100%ed Hogwarts Legacy. What Mash lacks in magical ability, he makes up for in physical ability. Why cast an unlocking spell when you can bust the door down every time? I was really looking forward to this anime as it reminds me of my favorite D&D character I've played, a wizard who focuses on strength rather than intelligence. Plus, I'm a big fan of A1 Pictures, and I'm always excited to see what they do next. This isn't anything that'll blow you away, but it is a ton of fun, especially with how goofy Mash is. He loves cream puffs more than these guys love cream pies. It's a solid anime, A tier. My Home Hero is a crime thriller where the main character, Tetsuo Tosu, kills his daughter's abusive boyfriend with an Uncle Roger approved rice cooker.
Saucepan, hiya! Proper Asian use rice cooker.
He manages to hide the body well enough until the Yakuza come to find it, since the guy he murdered was a gang member. What follows is a suspenseful pursuit by the Yakuza, and a game of survival for Tetsuo and his family. I will admit, the production quality is not the greatest. However, what really holds this anime up is the constant edge-of-your-seat cliffhangers in a race against time. But that's all fine and good. What actually holds this anime up is Kasen, Tetsuo's wife. I swear, not only can she get away with murder, but I'm pretty sure she already has. She is the MVP of this whole goddamn season, and is more ride or die than anyone could ever expect of a spouse. She alone elevates this anime from what would normally be a B tier to an A tier.
Hey, old man, give me everything.
Call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not for me!
Oshi no Ko has been perhaps the most talked about anime of the year, and it's already being widely considered one of the greatest anime of 2023, the decade, and ever made. And there's a good reason for it. Because it's really good. I won't say anything to the contrary here, because I also firmly believe that Oshi no Ko is already becoming an instant classic. It is perhaps the greatest first episode of any anime ever. and that is partly due to its 82-minute long runtime. However, I am not making a suggestion to watch it. I am telling you that you need to watch this anime. No, seriously, stop what you're doing right now if you haven't seen episode 1 yet. This video will be here when you come back. I am not going to say anything else about this show because I firmly believe that it is best viewed completely blind. And if you're wondering what ranking I would give for this tier list, it's as much of a god tier anime that we'll ever get. Especially compared to My One-Hit Kill Sister, an anime where this guy gets isekai'd and his sister, in despair without him, hits her head enough times to get isekai'd too. This was easily going to be a contender for the most degenerate anime I've seen all year, and I've watched all of my life as Inukai-san's dog. However, this anime is a lot better than that, partly due to just how great the animation is for its fight scenes. Don't get me wrong, it's still degenerate since Mayane has, questionable feelings about her brother. In this world, she's strong enough to solo God, but Asahi here is borderline completely useless. But he manages to show growth and progression despite his lacking skill set as the series progresses, even winning some fights on his own. And it's great seeing a sibling relationship in anime where the two genuinely care for each other. Not to mention that, other than Oshi no Ko, this has my favorite ED of the season. It's so good that it tempts me to put this in a god tier, which is what I'm saying to soften the blow of this going into B tier. The Dangers in My Heart is not a pop-punk album made by Good Charlotte in 2008, but instead is my favorite romance anime of the year. Kiyotaro Ichikawa is a shy kid with no friends, but at the very least, he doesn't shop at Lonely Mart. All Kiyotaro thinks about is the grimdark, and often fantasizes about some pretty messed up things towards the rest of his peers, especially the school idol, Ana Yamada. However, the two keep interacting through awkward means, as she confides to him her secret, that being that she likes food. Despite what you might get from the first episode, this is the sweetest thing you'll perhaps ever watch, as half of the story is Kiyotaro coming out of his shell and realizing his feelings slowly but surely towards Yamada. Romance is nothing! And how much he loves her. Meanwhile, Yamada herself gradually falls in love with Kiyotaro too. Yeah, it's cringy, but they're middle schoolers. Who wasn't cringy in middle school?
Guangdong Tigers. Ni hao!
The cringe only adds to the realism of their emotions. As the series progresses, so too does the romance between them as it keeps blossoming into something beautiful. The Dangers in My Heart is already shaping up to be one of my favorite romance anime ever. Yeah, it's a god tier. The Legendary Heroes Dead is about as trash as anime can get. It's about Toka, a thigh enthusiast, who is also into making traps, and in doing so accidentally murders a legendary hero, Scion. As punishment, the necromancer Henri puts Toka's soul into Scion's body, since he's still on a mission to save the world from devils. Now, he's gotta go and fulfill that task, but since he was a radish farmer, he doesn't really have any magical talent. He now travels with both Henri, Yuna, his childhood friend, and Marguerite, a princess. I don't even know where to begin with this anime. This doesn't belong in a tier list. This belongs in hell. That being said, episode 9 of this show is seriously one of the best episodes of anime all year, and completely reverses how I feel about Toka and Yuna. They truly care about one another in a way that the other didn't quite understand until it's revealed from Toka's past. Overall, this anime is pretty funny, and its OP is so good, but I feel like I need a long shower after watching it, so it's a C tier. Dr. Stone continues with its third season, New World. Look, I'm just gonna say it, I love this series. Dr. Stone is up there for my favorite modern shonen. Yeah, it can be cheesy, but what makes it work so well are the characters, primarily Senku himself. Even if this show is not the most realistic, it brings about a feeling of believability since the science is actually explained in detail by Senku. And I have to commend this series since easily my weakest subject when I was in high school was chemistry. With New World, more mysteries are revealed that I had wondered about throughout the series since the beginning, and I'm glad to see further parts of the world explored. Maybe I'm being a bit too heavily biased here, but I enjoyed this series so much as it continues more of what I love from previous seasons that I'm going to put it in S tier. Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible was an anime I already ranked in the winter tier list. However, it went on hiatus and now it's back. And how is it? It's decent. We've got even more episodes of Shiraishi not being able to tell that Kubo is into him. Gee man, I have no idea what she means. We absolutely have enough room for more than one diabetes-inducing romance anime, but when compared to the others we've gotten this year, it isn't the most remarkable. Maybe it's because the show has one running joke which can be funny, but after a while you get it. Or maybe it's because he shops at Lonely Mart. All in all, it's still solid, B tier. And another anime that I had already ranked in the winter tier list is Vinland Saga Season 2 as it continues this spring. And I would like to apologize for what I said during that video, as I don't think I fully explained why I feel that Vinland Saga Season 2 is the best anime of the entire year. Some have criticized the pacing and overall lack of action of this season, to which I'd say that's okay. If you're brought into the series by its more action-packed Season 1, and if that's what you prefer, that's fine. There are plenty of other great action anime this season. However, if you stick around, you will find perhaps the greatest character development ever. Thorfinn, a man raised in a constant environment of violence, comes more and more to terms with his actions of the past and the emptiness that's been left within him. He continues to strive forward, finding what it means to become a true warrior. Every episode this season will make you cry, and if there's anything I want people to take from this video, it's that this anime is something special. Vinland Saga Season 2 has hit me in so many ways, and it is still a god tier anime. KamiKatsu, working for God in a godless world, is a mess, but a beautiful mess at that. It all starts when Yukito, who was raised by a cult, gets chucked into the ocean by his dad and drowns. He wishes to be sent to a world without religion, and lo and behold, he wakes up in one by some random woman.
Naked, my clothes have been ripped off me, and she starts giving me a knobber.
Look, I've already talked about this anime in much greater detail with my last video, so to summarize, yeah, those CGI beasts are all real, and so is the tractor, but this anime is still high quality. Yukito's icon might make him a lolicon, but an anime like this manages to balance a fine line between absurdity and its dark undertones of how easily people can be corrupted or swayed if you just give them what they want. I have to applaud the creativity of this anime too, since I'm sure the animators ask themselves each episode, is it a good idea? Who cares? Just go for it.
How about trying the upside-down Ahegao lunchbox?
Someone was paid to say that line, and I'd argue they weren't paid enough. KamiKatsu is an anime that is less ridiculous the more you watch it, but the more ludicrous the more you stare at it. It is without a doubt my biggest surprise this season, and definitely earns itself an S tier rating. So, that's all the anime I'm watching this season. I know this is pretty late, but there's a good reason for that. I'd just like to say that spring 2023 has been incredible, and since I can't watch every anime, I'd love to know what your favorite anime are this season and which ones I may have missed as we get one step closer to finding the perfect anime. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to skip for more Loafers. And I'd also like to thank all of you for watching my recent 2 videos. This channel has been doing really well lately, way better than I expected at this point, and honestly, I'm at a loss for words. But if you've enjoyed my recent videos, or really any of them, then I'd like to keep making more. I'm having way too much fun watching anime and exploring my love of it with all of you. So, with that being said, hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good one. Oh, there's still one more anime I haven't talked about yet. Magical Destroyers wasn't even on my radar before this season began, but I saw that it's being animated by Bear Studios, who I'm interested in because that's the studio that will be animating the 100 Girlfriends anime. So, what exactly happens here? What doesn't happen? Magical Destroyers is visually the most unhinged and creative anime I've seen since maybe Kill la Kill or Gurren Lagann. Yeah, it's that wild. The story follows a Otaku hero leading an army of fellow weebs rising up against an impressive regime in Japan that has captured Otaku en masse. He's accompanied by 3 magical girls: Anarchy, who really lives up to her name, Blue, who's mega horny but also a New Order fan, and Pink, who loves drugs. This anime is utterly unhinged, unfathomable, and perhaps downright unwatchable. I love it. I am all in on this. You have no idea what to expect and what will happen next, and I don't even think the anime knows. Some might like their anime more refined and easily digestible, and I can understand that. But I also appreciate an anime that flips me off, burns my house down, and commits several crimes against humanity, all within the first episode. All that remains is to rank this anime.
Long
Only
Tiger.